Hello my lovelies. This is just my little introduction video. I just wanted to talk about me, how I got here, what the process was, and just let you into my world so that you feel a little bit more connected and closer to me. Wow, so we're going to go back to when I was 17. I am now 23. It's been a great journey. It's come with a lot of challenges, obstacles, lessons, but a whole lot of good, and that I am very thankful for. And just reflecting over the last 5 years, I'm just mind-blowing that I am here. I am comfortable, I am confident, and I want to share my gifts with you. And I also want to encourage you to share your gifts, find your gifts, discover who you are, what your purpose is, even if it is something as simple of learning how to love yourself, or learning how to be in a relationship, or learning how to apply your purpose with your career. So doctors, nurses, those people, their purpose is to heal, uplift, and help humanity as a whole. So I'm just gonna have a quick drink and let's get stuck into it. So through my teenage years, I struggled with mental health issues. I tried to end my life multiple times for multiple reasons. I've had a very traumatic life, and I own that. That is part of my shadow work, but that shadow work is going to be later down the track, okay? Please don't pile yourself under the spiritual. It comes with learning, it comes with time. Do not rush into it. Take your time. So when I was 17, I had a miscarriage, and I was not coping. I wasn't doing well. It was a very traumatic and confusing for me. I was sent to Starship Hospital, which is a better care facility for teenagers, young children who suffer from a wide range of mental disorders. Here, I always knew during my life growing up, people just gravitated towards me and would tell me these traumatic events or things happening in their life, seeking guidance, or just naturally coming to me and offloading on me. And then I didn't realize I was actually taking that baggage because I'm an empath. I was taking it on as my own, and it would confuse me, and it was just getting me down. I didn't know how to protect myself. I didn't even know what an empath was. I knew nothing. My life was chaotic from age 15 through to age 19. Let's be honest, China, let's be honest. It was one day where my mum walked around the corner in the hospital. She had been away from the weekend, and I took that opportunity as to do it, go through with it. Nobody would have been aware. Divine intervention, of course. Obviously, I was meant to live, and so my spirit guides, all those who love me unconditionally, they intervened. And it was my mum walking around the corner, and the look on her face, the absolute defeat of, this time it didn't work, but now I know my daughter's serious. I'm going to lose my daughter. And it was the look on her face that got me. Out of all the times, out of every moment, it was that absolute defeat of, I'm going to lose my child and I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, Mum, if you ever watch this as well. It's something I've carried and I didn't speak up on. And it was that moment where I decided, sort your shit out. I was like, you need to write a list. Whatever you need to do, you need to do this, because you cannot pass your hurt onto another human being. Once I saw that, and I saw that my mum would be severely impacted, I started thinking about all the people who would also be impacted that I didn't consider, because I was in my own little bubble. In depression, if you've been through it, you know you're in your own little bubble and you can't see outside of that. I ended up going to an adults facility because I just turned 18. I've got a scar on my face as well. I will get to that. But I worked hard. I wasn't positive. I didn't know where it was going. I hated every moment of it. I was on suicide watch. I wasn't allowed out. I had rules as an 18-year-old. When you hit 18, you're like, yes, I want to be free. I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want now. That didn't happen for me, and it really got to me. But I knew everybody cared and they wanted the best for me. I just couldn't see it at the time, and through there I had to work through a lot of childhood trauma. I had to go through counseling, therapy. I was on a lot of medication. I numbed myself. Along the way I lost parts of myself, and I decided one day I needed to go off the medication, because I'd been on medication for a very long time, a number of years at this point. Nobody can tell me what to do, basically, and it was a struggle. I'm strong-willed, I'm independent, I know what I want, and I know what's right for me. One day, the scar, let's get to that story. I took my medication one night, but I had taken too much because I had taken a break, and I was meant to slowly put myself back on it, but I didn't. Woke up, I had really low blood pressure. I fell over, landed on a very large glass bowl and absolutely smashed it everywhere. I was covered in blood. I had an appointment to go to. I still dragged myself into the shower, determined to make it to this appointment. And in the end, I realized that my face has got a really big hole. And a flap of skin was just hanging off. So I called my mum. My mum's first thought, and bless her heart, was, did I try to do this on purpose? And that question really hit my soul, that was the first thing someone would think of an accident, that I would purposefully do it. And I didn't want to be known as that person. I didn't want to be known to do that. I didn't want to be known to have that thought. And I never wanted it to be the first suggestion ever again. I decided days beforehand I wanted to live. I wanted to get better. Everybody told me it would get better. I wanted that for myself, and I knew I deserved it at this point. So now we're going to fast track a little bit. When I had my first reading at 18, she told me I was more spiritual than I believed. I had my ex with me. She blew our mind because both he and I did not believe, okay? We went in a little bit skeptical, a little bit scared, nervous, excited. He walked away as well. He's the biggest skeptic there was. He walked away from it like, wow, is that, did that actually happen? And then a year later, when I was 19, by this point, my ex and I had split up, and we had gone through a loss of a child, and it was pretty devastating. So I saved up and I went back to this lady, and she told me, quite frankly, that the child I had lost was an angel and he was never going to be born. Angels cannot be born, is what she said. And it didn't make any sense to me at the time. I was like, whatever, life's unfair. I hate that I was put in that situation. And she just kept telling me I would have a healthy baby at the right time. I needed to believe and have trust that in the process, and that it was already set in motion before I'd even found out I was pregnant. I was not going to have that baby. So I'd had to work through it. A lot of grief, a lot of trauma. A lot of stupid decisions came from that situation, and my spirit guides, which we will also get later down the track. We all have spirit guides. I will explain more later on. My spirit guides always encourage me to forgive and let it go. It is a long process, and I always tell people who lose babies, it is a long-term relationship with grief. That is the reality of it. But just know that your babies, your loved ones, there was a purpose behind it. The world wasn't trying to punish you. So when I was 19, I decided, yep, get your shit together, sort it out. You don't want to be on pills for the rest of your life. You don't want to be on a benefit. You do not want to be suffering. You want more from life. That is who you are. That is your purpose. Come on, trying to motivate yourself. Get yourself out of this pit. Finally did it, and I found out I was pregnant again with the IUD. And now I always say, people who are like, can I conceive? I'm struggling. If a baby wants to be born, a baby will be born. Please trust that. Sometimes we don't understand why we can't have children, and maybe that's just part of our lesson, to learn how to let that need or want or desire go. It may not fit for you at that time, but a baby will come when they are ready to. The soul chooses us, we don't choose them. That's just the way it goes. So I got a job, I got a car, I left my ex, I left a toxic situation. I worked on myself. I wanted to be an amazing mother and the best person that I possibly could be for my little boy. I enjoyed and I loved every moment of being a single mother. I grew up so much. I discovered myself. I learned what I'm capable of. I learned what I want through my son. He encourages me, he inspires me, he teaches me, and I absolutely adore being a mother. So when my son was 10 months old, unfortunately, we had a very severe car accident. We came up to a corner and I felt a loving hand, a male, and I heard the words, "You're going to be okay," and instantly my gut dropped. When I just got goosebumps everywhere and I knew we were going to crash. I just knew it. We came up to the next corner and slid along, black ice. My tyre got stuck in a dip on the edge of New Zealand roads, especially rural, are quite pretty choppy, and it was a little pothole, a little bit dip, and my with the ice it just didn't work out, and we went around the corner, hit the bank. I went to put my foot on the brake and instead I put it on the accelerator, and we went straight up the bank, rolled off it. We rolled a couple of times until we were facing the opposite way. This would have been 150 meters away from the corner by this point, and we were on the driver's side, so the car was tipped on the side. I woke up to my 10-month-old screaming, and it was pretty traumatic because when I woke up, I realized the car was on fire. The bonnet completely on fire. As I looked around, I realized, crap, the car is on the side, and immediately I was just being told, do this, do this, do this. I do not know how the seatbelt got off me. I do not know how things worked out the way they did. I was told, climb out through the boot, so I climbed out through the boot. My phone was magically just laying a meter from my boot on the road, completely untouched. No scratches, no cracks, nothing. Completely there, and it was in my handbag, in the front seat, in the passenger seat. It was just mind-blowing, and I hesitated in that moment. Do I call for help, or do I get my son out? Of course, get your son out. And so we did that. We got away. We had two lovely angels who were there at the right time. And this is the most craziest part. But 1 or 2 years later, I think it was 1.5, somewhere around there, I reached out trying to find these women who helped me and who were there supporting me, because I was in no state of mind emotionally, mentally to handle that situation. And they were the ones who called help. And I finally met one, and she, you know what she said? She said it was the one and only day where she was in her kitchen, she was ready for work, and she just went, I'm gonna go to work early, an hour early. The one and only day. She left home to go to work early, and she came across us. And I just know we had angels, we had divine intervention, we had spirit with us that day. She truly believes it, and she is a God-fearing woman, and I adored that. I didn't believe it at the time, I now do. In the ambulance, unfortunately, I had 2 seizures, which in my opinion, they were spiritual downloads, because that's when I was becoming so aware. My body was vibrating and shaking because so much up here was happening. I had so many voices, and I had so many going, and they were like, all I could hear over and over was a strong, calming man saying, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You need to breathe. 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 And just talking me through it. My eyes were just rocking. They started panicking. They ended up getting a second ambulance so they could remove my son from it and work on me and make sure I was fine. So at hospital, everything was fine. The police, everybody thought it was a miracle because my car was left as a shell. It was just the outside. There was nothing to it. And I will share a photo attached with this video. After the car accident, I spent 10 months going, my world had completely blown up in my face. Everything that I knew, I was a working mum. I wanted to pay for my son. I wanted the best life for him. And I had these ideas of how I was going to do that, how it was going to happen for us. And it just didn't. It just blew up in my face. And I had 10 months healing, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that. I had 10 months off work. They kept my job for me, and I'm so forever thankful. I had an amazing boss who was just loving, caring, and did everything that I needed. And I'm very thankful and grateful for the opportunity she gave me. So that 10 months I spent doing readings. I bought more cards. I started discovering more, and that's how I started opening up to spirit and allowing spirit in. I didn't know it. I originally thought I was only ever going to do cards. I bought my first card deck at Sue Nicholson's show when I was 38 weeks pregnant, and I thought that's all I was going to do. That was all I was good for. Spirit obviously had different plans and ideas for me. So I started slowly letting people's family in. I was blessing houses. I was clearing negative energy. I was connecting people with their loved ones. I loved it. But financially, I had to go back to work. I needed to support my son. I got into a really positive, loving space. I was at the best I had ever been mentally and emotionally. I'd worked so hard, and the time just flew by. So I had an option of actually doing this, and I chose to go back to work. And I was given a bunch of outs by spirit, telling me the job I was in wasn't good for me, it wasn't healthy for me, even though I loved the job. I loved the work. I worked down in theatre at the coordinator's desk, so I got to see all the acute theatres. I was there. If you've ever been to Waikato Hospital, if you ever went to surgery, I was probably involved somehow in the back, in the background. That was me getting you into theatre, making sure you had the right time, the right details, everything was flowing, going. Yeah, that was me. I loved it. It was awesome. It was uplifting. It was inspiring. However, I was constantly around death and just suffering and pain, and I was taking that on. It got me down again, and I was only allowed to work there for 6 months until I had another car accident. And I just thought the world was punishing me. I thought, why would you do this? I was driving safe. I was doing everything I needed to. It was a fluke accident. It was a silly driver, and I just couldn't comprehend, and it triggered everything again, and I had to go back to therapy. I also recommend EMDR for anybody who has trauma that needs unblocking and processing. It's magic. I wish I had done it when I was younger. It is a beautiful way to process trauma and to work through those emotions. So yes, and then last year in July, I had another accident. I was on the side of the road, hectic. I was in chaos, and the guy, he was lovely with me. People pulled over because they saw I had a young child with me, and they were just made sure he was okay. I had to call my partner, and I was like, you need to come. I don't know what to do. He was amazing. He was there straight away, got us, took the week off work to look after me because I was just not with it. I was struggling to understand what I did wrong. Am I a crappy driver? Why? Just why? Anyways, I went, okay, suck it back up. You triggered your brain injury again, or you triggered something again. Suck it up, get back to work through it. This is what you're meant to do. And I laugh about it because I'm like, wow, how did I not realize Spirit was saying, no, it's no. China, you know what you're supposed to do it. You keep going. I always tell people, if you know it's wrong for you, if you know you're doing something that makes you unhappy, Spirit are always going to intervene to cut it off, to get rid of that tie, get rid of that connection, end it, close it, endings. We may hold on to it so strong and be like, no, this is right, this is what I'm told to do, this is what I thought I'm supposed to do, and Spirit will go, no. and they will change the script on you. You've got no choice. You have no control. And I have learned that lesson over and over, and I am still learning that lesson. So I went back to work. I was feeling very low. I had to go back on ACC. I had to I'll do all my exercises again. I was so disappointed. I was gutted. I felt like a failure. I felt like I was letting my boss down, my workplace, my environment, my son. I thought, oh wow, I've never had to rely on anyone other than my parents. And I didn't want to rely on my partner because we were fresh, we were new. And I ended up pregnant again. And I went, why? I was like, you're piling it on top of me, and I felt the weight of the world crushing me down. They were going, you're not going to listen, fine, boom, got no choice now, do you? And I just remember feeling like they were just attacking me, and they were just making my life miserable because they could, or because it was entertaining them, or because I deserved it, or I felt like I only deserved punishment, when that's not what they were trying to teach or show me at all. They were just trying to show me I wanted more and better for my family. When I found out I was pregnant, wholeheartedly, I knew she was a girl, and she is just gorgeous and stunning, and she came at the right time, and she has made my relationship so much stronger. She has made me a better mother. She's calmed me right down. She grounds me, and she inspires me as well. She's motivated me to do this because my little girl is spiritual, and I'm going to nurture it and encourage it as she grows older. And then I was diagnosed with hypertension, which is too much fluid in the spine and around the brain. And I was told the bigger I was going to get, the higher chance I was of going blind. Now, what 22-year-old wants to hear that they are potentially going blind the bigger they get, and they cannot control their weight gain because they're pregnant? I was like, oh, why is life punishing me? What am I doing wrong? Why do I deserve this? We couldn't afford another child. We were living with he was living with his sister at the time. I was living with my mum at the time, and obviously made sense we needed to move in together, but we couldn't forever live at my mum's house because I've got my stepson, and I've got my son, and we've now got a daughter, and it just seemed like the world was punishing us. I was so over it, and I ended up having a level 3 lockdown baby. I was supposed to have a level 4 lockdown baby. When COVID happened, it just again felt like the world was punishing us and just making our life difficult for the lols. Just to have something to laugh at. And we really felt like we were struggling. Our relationship kept taking hits, and we really had to work together to get to here, basically. I didn't do any readings. I couldn't connect spiritually because when I had my daughter, that was completely blocked off from me, and I'm very thankful because it meant as soon as she was out, spirit would just pop around the corner and scare the living Jesus out of me. Oh my Lord. I thought I'd lost my gift when I was pregnant with my daughter. I thought, wow, okay, that was fleeting. That's sad, but all right, I'll accept it. Nope, it just meant as soon as she was gone, it's like they just took the blinds and went, whoo, there we are. You're gonna do this now. You cannot ignore us now. Now that you can see us like an actual physical person, that is now how I see them, whereas beforehand I could only see them in my mind. I couldn't ignore them, all their messages, all the chatter. My ears were constantly ringing, which always means to me there's multiple spirits around, and they're going, and I cannot tell who is who because they're talking way too quick and over top of each other. So I started back into this, and I started practicing my cards. I started sharing it with my partner's family, my friends again. I started buying more crystals, and I just sat back. As soon as my daughter hit 3 months, I don't know what happened. It was like I sat back and spirit went, right, you're going to listen to us, and we're just going to tell you what to do. There is no arguing it. There is no fighting it anymore. You've done a long battle to get to here. Suck it up. This is what you're meant to do. We have kept interfering in your life to get you to this point. please listen to us now. If you imagine bowing yourself, sinking to the knees, that is what I did. I sunk to my knees. I offered them control, my undying love, my respect. I honor them now. I talk freely to them like I'm actually talking to a person. I don't feel alone. I feel strong. I feel fresh. I feel reborn as a new person. I've leveled up in the last 2 months. My daughter's now 5 months. It's been crazy the last 2 months. I never saw myself being here, being able or capable of doing what I am doing, and I am proud of it. I am honored to do it. I'm just so relieved that through all of that, through all the drama, through all the stress, through all the anxiety, this was my gift through it all the lessons, all the experiences. I now get to share it with you. The timing is perfect. I have the opportunity. I have a lovely little girl who is just the easiest baby in the world. We've got my son at a daycare close to home, and he is very settled. He is a different child and just loves life. And my stepson, we only get him every second weekend, but I absolutely adore him. He is so much fun, and he is the missing piece to our family, because our family does feel off or empty when he is not here. And I'm just so blessed of how far I've come. I'm just looking back, even talking about it now, it blows my mind. I did that. I went through all that. That was my journey to here, to be able to deliver messages. So I have 2 guys, if you just imagine female, male, that's the right side. Yeah, thanks. So female, male, constantly with me. They have never left my side. Looking back now, I can always feel them, and I cannot believe I didn't know they were there. I have chosen this life for a reason. I will later down the track talk about that reason and my true purpose. I'm very, very excited for this journey. I'm excited to now open up this group to allow a platform for you to learn, to discover your own journey. It takes time. Do not throw yourself into it and expect it to work out the exact way you hope and dream. Spirit will always test you. Just saying, your commitment will forever be tested. That are also going to challenge your mind state, your perspectives, your beliefs, your values, and your morals. Is constantly changing, constantly evolving. I love it. I love the person I am today. And you know what the crazy part is? I am not the person I was the last week. I'm not. I learn, I grow, I do a lot of shadow work as well, which I've said we will talk about eventually, but it's not the right time. And I'm just loving it, everything that's happening, all the opportunities that is opening up to me, the doors that are just presenting themselves to me. I'm inspired, I'm motivated, and this is what I truly want to do. I want to share this with as many people as I can to encourage them. We have forgotten spirit. That's the truth. At the end of the day, in this 21st century, we're caught up with working to get rich for the brands. We're caught up in a materialistic world where we don't actually take the time to enjoy. I want to invite my soul group, my soul tribe. We all have them. I want to invite you back, and I really want to connect you back with your soul and spirit. I really want to bring you home in the physical world and remind you not to get caught up in the materialistic world. We all have a purpose, we all have a reason, regardless what it is. There is a lesson in this life, and we chose it for a reason. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped you feel closer to me. Please drop down any comments, any conversations, anything that you would like to know, ideas. I really would love to know what the majority of people are looking to learn or discover or find out. And I would love to help you there where I can. Love and light. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day.